In 1965, a 24-year-old United States Army sergeant made a decision that trapped him in North Korea for nearly 40 years. His name was Charles Jenkins, and this is his story. Stationed on the Korean Demilitarized Zone, Jenkins was terrified of being sent to Vietnam, so he came up with a plan: cross into North Korea, get handed to the Soviets, and then get traded back to the United States in a prisoner swap. So on one freezing night, he drank a bunch of beer, walked across the border, and surrendered to the most secretive and oppressive government on the planet. As expected, Jenkins was not offered freedom, but rather, he was locked in North Korea for 39 years, 6 months, and 4 days to be exact. For 7 of those years, he was locked in a room for 8 hours a day, memorizing Kim Il-sung's teachings in Korean, a language that he didn't even understand. And to the day that he died, he could still recite those speeches word for word.
주체사상이란 한마디로 말하여 혐의과 근소의 준 민대중이며 혐의과 근소를 측정하는 현대 민대중에게 있다는 사상입니다.
One of the more brutal stories is when one of the guards saw a United States Army tattoo on his left arm. Of course, the North Korean government wasn't going to tolerate this, so they removed the tattoo forcibly with scissors and no anesthetic. Later on during his imprisonment, Jenkins was eventually joined by Hitomi Soga. Soga had been abducted from Japan in 1978 as part of North Korea's secret program to kidnap Japanese citizens and force them to train North Korean spies in their language and culture. Together, Jenkins and Soga raised 2 daughters in imprisonment under constant surveillance. And though this treatment sounds cruel and inhumane, Jenkins admits that they had it good compared to other detainees from other countries. Matter of fact, Jenkins was actually forced to act in a North Korean propaganda video that eventually made its way back to the United States, where his family that he left behind saw it and gave them hope that he was still alive. And luckily, the story does have a good ending. In 2004, North Korea admitted that it was abducting people to Japan, and a deal was made that allowed all of their prisoners and abductees to be given to Japan. But being the class act that he is, Jenkins still had one more wrong to right. Following his release, he went to the U.S. Naval Base in Okinawa, Japan, and pled guilty to the charge of desertion. But since he had already suffered for nearly 40 years in North Korea, he served only 25 days in a U.S. military prison. Charles Jenkins died in 2017 at age 77, and he is remembered as the man whose desperate gamble left him trapped in North Korea for nearly 4 decades alongside a wife who was stolen from her own country. But anyway, guys, you let me know what you think in the comments.